7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Are you listening?
Ricky J. Sports.
What is going on, my fellow YouTubers? This is Ricky J, baby, from Ricky J Sports, and welcome to our UFC Fantasy League Season 7 update after one event. And man, let's just get right to it right now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give you guys the updated standings, then I'm going to talk about the event, and I'm also going to talk about the Bellator 192 event as well. But let's get things started right here, people. We got Team Donut. The my favorite donut is the good old apple fritter. My buddy Darius knows about that, but Team Donut right here, everybody got 0. They kind of shot blanks when it came to the predictions, but let's just move up right here. You know, I got a respectable 40. If you got 40 or, you know, any number other than 0, you know, that's good, man. At least you predicted something. But let's move up right here. Got my buddy Josh Reyes back in the mix, and there's me, 40, and it doesn't matter, everybody's in a logjam for 40. And then we got the 50s going on. Make sure to pause it if you see your name. And also, if you didn't, you know, if I missed your entry, please let me know, because going through over 100 names is really tough. But rounding out this list right here, we got the current champion, OMC, with some 90 action. And then right at the top, is it Didi? He predicted everything perfectly. But let me just talk about the event, the hype train. Oh my gosh, that fight just showed how amazing Stipe Miocic is. It's unbelievable how not a lot of people were talking about his head movement. His ability to slip, move was unbelievable, because when I was watching the fight was over for me after 2 minutes of the first round. Once Francis was whiffing on those power shots, you knew that he was slowing down, and he was slowing down fast. And I don't think I've ever seen a guy in the heavyweight division or in any division gas out so early but still survive and manage to, you know, continue for 4 rounds after that. But it was unbelievable. The one thing though that not a lot of people are talking about was at the end when Stipe won and Bruce Buffer, you know, was announcing, and still the champion. So I don't know if you guys saw it, but Dana White went to kind of put the strap on his waist, you know, the belt on his waist, and Stipe reached behind and basically ripped the belt off of Dana White's hands and gave it to his head trainer, and made his head trainer put it around his waist. And apparently it's because Stipe feels like he was disrespected. He honestly feels like the UFC was hyping up Francis and basically not giving Stipe the respect, and he showed that. And the worst was, you know, the beauty of watching in HD is that you're able to see things that the camera is not really kind of focusing on, but Dana White's face and his, you know, his body language, he had his hands on his hips, he was not happy at all. And I don't know what's gonna happen with that. You shouldn't, you know, people should know you shouldn't upset your boss, and hopefully Stipe doesn't feel the wrath of Dana White. But it was just a real awkward moment. Man, Francis Ngannou, you know, everybody was hyped up. I was on that hype train. I was riding high with a lot of other people. But this guy, he's a fantastic 2-minute fighter, a great, you know, power puncher. But you guys, I don't know if you guys saw, but like no ability on the ground. He wasn't, like when he was inside control, he wasn't trying to scramble. He wasn't trying to, you know, get tight. Like, you know, I do a little jiu-jitsu on the side for fun, and they always teach you gotta ball up tighter. You know, when you're on your back, you need to ball up tighter to make yourself more compact. And he was laid out like a, you know, like a carpet runner, and he did not really do anything when he was off on his back. And Stipe had a great game plan. But moving on to Cormier, what an unbelievable guy, because Volkan was coming out like a Mack truck, throwing haymakers, and Cormier can just eat a punch. I don't think I've ever seen a guy that could eat a punch like that and continue to move forward. And he doesn't look like an imposing figure, obviously. He looks like a guy that you would, you know, play 3-on-3 with at the YMCA. But this guy is a beast, and I have much love for Daniel Cormier. He's just an amazing guy. And after his career. He was saying he doesn't want to fight past 40. He's got a great career behind the booth, and even at Fox or, you know, wherever he decides to go, he has a great voice for the sport, and he's just an amazing fighter. I also want to talk about the Bellator event. So I don't know if you guys saw that, you know, they had Bellator 192 at the same time UFC 220 was going on, and the main event was Chael Sonnen versus Rampage. And you guys all know that Rampage is a Pride legend. You know, he's even a UFC legend, but these guys fighting way past their prime. I felt like I was watching TNA wrestling, watching Hulk Hogan versus Sting or Ric Flair. It's just really bad to watch. And what's up with Chael Sonnen? He's just, you know, when he fought Vanderlei, he fought the same kind of style. You know, he wrestles, he clinches, he manages to win rounds, but doesn't really hurt his opponent. And you could tell that Rampage was so angry, but he should have done something. He should have pushed the pace a little bit, but it was just a terrible fight. What was a great fight though was Rory MacDonald versus Lima. And Rory MacDonald, it seems like since he's had, you know, the reconstructive surgery on his nose, he is so scared to stand and bang, because he was, in my opinion, overdoing it on those takedowns. He was going for constant takedowns. Lima was stopping it here and there, but then Rory was getting the takedowns. But the damage that Rory was taking was unbelievable. I don't know if you guys saw his leg. I'm gonna look for a picture on the internet to show you guys, but he had this unbelievably large hematoma on his shin, and it got to the point where he could barely stand, so he was constantly going for takedowns. And then even, I believe his nose got broken again, and he already had multiple surgeries on his nose, and his nose was broken. He looked like a mess, and in my opinion, Rory MacDonald, he won the fight. Not really won the fight, he won the game. Yeah, he really won the game, but I think Lima won the fight. He hurt him, he had him all bruised, he broke his nose, he developed that crazy hematoma on his shin. But the one thing with Lima, he had to win that fight, I think he had to push forward a little bit, and I think he was a little gun-shy, worried about those takedowns. But I think they should have a rematch for sure, instant rematch, because, you know, I wasn't a fan of Lima's before, and I'm Canadian, I was cheering for Rory MacDonald, but I'm a fan of Lima's now for his ability to, you know, take out those legs and not really take much damage. Like, he didn't even look tired by the end of the fight. He really needs to rethink his strategy, and I think he's going to come back stronger, and I would love to see that fight. The only sad thing is that Rory's probably going to be out for almost a year to heal up from that leg injury, and then that nose. Who knows when he's going to fight again. But anyhow, people, I'll end off this video. We got the first event done. Let me know what you think about my, you know, recaps of these events. I could do videos like that, recapping events, and just sitting back, relaxing with your favorite beverage, and we could just talk about the fights. Let me know if you want to see more of that. Anyhow, people, have a great week. This is Ricky J, baby, from Ricky J Sports, and you are awesome.